Enter the Ninth Doctor. Welcome back to the Time Lord Victorious Canon Update. Hi, I'm Phil, and this is the series that lets you know what's happening in the entries of the Time Lord Victorious multi-platform event that you might not be getting. The important bullet points, how it all links into the overall event, so that if you're getting, say, just the Big Finish audios and the books, but you want to know what's happening in the comics and how it all ties in and how it links into the entries that you yourself are buying, well, this is the place for you. Every week there is a release. I will be releasing one of these videos to tie it all together. The caveat to that is the books might take me a little longer than the end of the week to finish reading, depending on how much time I've got that week, but we haven't got there yet. We're not at the books. This week, only one release, Doctor Who magazine with its entry into the event. It's got a bumper first issue of its 3-part comic series, Monstrous Beauty. But before we go into that, something I missed in the last edition of the Canon Update.
What? You missed something? That's it, man. I'm done with this series.
Okay then. What I missed was something in the Doctor Who annual where we got our best look yet at the Katura. In a nice big clear picture, we see a robed, hooded and veiled figure. We don't see much of what's underneath those clothes, but what we do see poking out of the edges looks kind of crystalline in nature and seems to be all angles and geometric shapes. We're also told in the text that their bottom half is made up of tentacles. So now I've caught up with that, we can get back to this week and we get to see the Ninth Doctor's way into the story. In terms of where this falls in the Doctor's continuity, we can use a bit of deductive reasoning to find out one of two places in his timeline that it could fit. The Doctor and Rose are travelling solo, so for them, this must be either after the Long Game and before the Empty Child, or before Dalek. But because Rose, we find out, knows at this point about his people, about the Ninth Doctor's people dying, it has to be after the end of the world.
I'm a Time Lord. I'm the last of the Time Lords. They're all gone. I'm the only survivor.
The duo have landed somewhere unfamiliar. The Doctor isn't sure where they have landed, but gets a funny feeling that he shouldn't be there and actually suggests they go straight back to the TARDIS. They quickly find out there's some kind of local conflict going on and they get captured by one side of that conflict. It turns out that the side they've been captured by are Gallifreyans, and that the Doctor and Rose have therefore travelled back to the Dark Times, an era pre-Time Lords being Time Lords. They're just Gallifreyans that are out in space but not out in time, and they don't have regeneration yet. We're also introduced to their leader, well, the leader at least of this particular group of Gallifreyans that are on this particular planet, and that leader is named Rassilon. Yes, you heard that right, Rassilon. Is it the Rassilon? Who knows? Might be a very common name in Dark Times Gallifrey. You know, like John. However, the Gallifreyans do seem to be in some kind of battle-ready mode and are in fact attacked by an invading force. That invading force are the vampires. The Dark Ages conflict between Gallifrey and the vampires is well documented in Doctor Who history, right back from Tom Baker's era when it was first breached to multiple expanded universe encounters and references. The Rassilon was around during that time and spearheading the defense against them. So maybe we'll find out in future issues if this is the Rassilon, but I think it's a good chance. The pair meet a scientist who, as well as taking DNA from them and confirming that the Doctor is an alien to them, aka it is definitely before they developed the ability to have regeneration and change their DNA in that way. He also mentions that the Gallifreyans have been exposed to what he calls the ultimate, aka death. We can assume from what we've been told before that that is by the Katura, who have been stated in multiple bits of text that we've got so far for this event that they have been going around bestowing the gift of death upon the universe. This also interestingly means that the Gallifreyans were immortal before they had a regeneration, that they were once immortal in a very different way, that they would just live forever, and it's only the Katura coming and bestowing upon them a lifespan that took that away from them. And then, presumably, it was why they were so keen to get to discover regeneration when Tecteun eventually does. During the attack from the vampires in this issue, Rose gets captured and taken to the vampires' HQ, planet, I don't know, somewhere. They get taken somewhere by the vampires, where she meets 3 sisters that are in charge of this particular sect of vampires. And they kind of want to feast on her, and that's the cliffhanger we get at the end of the issue. Also, something I missed but that was picked up by George, aka @_timelesschild on Twitter, noticed that Rose in this issue is wearing, after she's been made to change by the vampires, is wearing the outfit that she is shown in the main promo image of the event that we got right back when this was announced, when we got that lovely, glorious image of David Tennant in his robes, the other 2 doctors behind him, the 9th and the 8th, and we saw Rose in there as well, and the outfit that she's wearing in that is the one that she gets put in by the vampires in this issue. So thank you for George for pointing that out, because I'd completely missed that. And that is what I think are the important bullet points from this issue to take away, and that will probably feed into the event as a whole. If there's anything I've missed that I only realise in retrospect becomes important later, I'll come back to it in a future Canon update. Now, of course, we also got the Doctor Who magazine itself, which had a few articles covering Timeless Child in there. Very interesting stuff about how the project came together in the first month, including an interview with the overall producer, James Gross. That's not really in the remit of these Canon updates, though. It's, you know, behind the scenes information, really, rather than lore connected to the stuff. Although, there is some bits of information in there that I do want to bring your attention to, particularly from the section of the magazine that charts all of the pathways through the different stories of the event. Because we've already discovered the escape room in the last edition of the Canon update, this particular article in the magazine gives some new insight into that I want to bring to your attention, because it confirms part of a theory that I put to you last time in the last edition of the Canon update about who that Dalek in the escape room is. That the Dalek we see in the escape room is in fact the last survivor of the Dalek's time squad that is sent back by the Dalek Emperor, and is the Dalek that we saw in the teaser trailer released just before the event really kicked off. You know, the one of him floating in space, the one of the Dalek floating in space, that one. Those are the same Daleks, and Doctor Who magazine confirms it in this issue. In fact, that particular Dalek has somewhat of a trilogy, it seems, planned, because not only are they the Dalek floating in space in that teaser trailer, not only are they in the escape room, the Dalek in the escape room, but there is also a reveal of another story, in fact another 2 stories which I haven't heard of being talked about anywhere yet. Apparently we're getting 2 more Big Finish stories that I don't think have been announced anywhere. One of these is Genetics of the Daleks, taking place from the Daleks' perspective in between the teaser trailer and the escape room. And we're told that in this, the last survivor of the Dalek Time Squad finds a way to repair itself. It's that same Dalek. So we've got a little trilogy of the 3 of them. The teaser trailer, this mysterious Big Finish announcement one, and also the escape room. No confirmation yet on if the other part of my theory is true, which was the message that this Dalek sends is actually the one that caused the Dalek Emperor to send the Time Squad in the first place, i.e. it's a bootstrap paradox. No confirmation on that one yet, but I'm still pretty confident that might be what happened. That's not the only new Big Finish that has seemingly been announced in Doctor Who magazine though, because also in the Dalek path we find that another listing that I have not yet seen anywhere else. It's called My Enemy, My Ally, in which the Dalek Empire orders the 8th Doctor to save the universe. But is that all? Again, I don't know where this is going to be coming out. We don't know what form this is going to take. I searched the Big Finish website. I could not find any reference to it. I searched the Time Lord Victorious official website. I could not find any reference to it. It's not in their list of stories that are coming out for this event. But it is in Doctor Who magazine as in their list of stories that is coming out for the event. So maybe it's something that just hasn't been announced anywhere else yet. It's strange that they've done it this way and that they're still not talking about it, but it also means we don't know what form it's going to take. I have a feeling that it's probably not going to be a full cast audio drama. It's probably going to be something a lot shorter, maybe something in the lines of like a short story done as an audiobook. Maybe even it will be released for free, coming with the Big Finish newsletter or something like that. It could be, they could be taking that angle, because I like the fact that they're releasing a short story next week with the Doctor Who official newsletter. So maybe Big Finish have decided to do something similar. It'll be maybe a little 5-10 minute little narrated story or two. Maybe that's what we're getting for this. We can certainly hope that it's something free, because, hey, who doesn't love free stuff, right? That pleases everyone. So that's all of the information I've got for you to round up for this week. Next week, we've got the free short story, Dawn of the Katura, which is being released via the Doctor Who newsletter. So if you haven't already, go sign up to that now before the 23rd, because I don't know what happens if you sign up after the point. I don't know if you still get it. But if you want it on the 23rd, go and sign up now to the Doctor Who newsletter. And I will be back next weekend to summarise what we learnt in that. And, you know, while you're in the subscribing state of mind, why don't you hit that subscribe button down there on my channel, you know, and the like button, and maybe the bell button as well, you know, why not? I've been Phil, and I'll see you next week.